Oh, hi, everybody. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Not good to see my internet service. I recently signed up to figure out when a new thing was coming called Glow Fiber, which means that it's fiber internet. And here's hoping that it's soon. Because I think that's a better option. But hello, everybody. Hello, Queen Olive, Ruth Ann. Hello, Angie and Terry and Mama Linda, and Captain and Wendy. And hello. It's good to see you all. That is a TM. Yeah, of course it is. I know it's kind of hard to see with it all blurry and whatnot, but it's Michelangelo's pizza. So it definitely is. I can't remember. Oh, I know why. Jamie? Yeah, Jamie had a birthday party and it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed. And so, ta-da, here we are. Hello, Rudy. I am not. No, Michelangelo is really not my turtle. I'm more Leo. Just the pain in the butt who follows the rules. I like to think of myself as Michelangelo. But nowadays, the older I get, the more I realize that I'm actually Raphael. So, I don't like to pick one. Well, that's no fun, right? Welcome to a bonus episode of Night Court, in which we will start on day 3 of Chandler Halderson's trial. Boy, a lot's gone on. If you're interested in hearing kind of more detail, I think, not more detail, but more detail quickly, rather than following straight through the trial. Next Thursday, Mike and I are recording a Brew Crime episode. We're going to be doing recent crimes, and I'm going to be covering Chandler Halderson because I think it doesn't hurt to double dip. Turtles. Oh man, Krang. Maybe I am a Krang. I don't know. I only know, I don't know a ton. I know this much. I like Gary Paulson, and he's the voice of is it Donnie? He's been the voice of 2. I think it was Michelangelo and then Donnie. I can't remember, but yes, at least, yeah, I'm a little shredder. Did you know? You probably knew this. When Super Shredder showed up in TNMT 2, Secrets of the Ooze, that was Kevin Nash from WCW at the time. So, yep, Kevin Nash played Super Shredder in the movie. Also, if that's not true, at least I sounded confident when I said it. Did I say the wrong voice actor? Because if so, shame on me. I meant Rob Paulson. Oh well. I think I got Kevin Nash right though. So I know that we typically go. Straight into the trial, but I thought we'd have some fun tonight with the bonus episode. I found a cool list. We usually do these on the Hey Ho Show, but alas, here we are. Here we are. Why not? Let's have some fun. So I wanted to talk about the 1060s toys that kids today would love. And I think some of these I played with, they're not just 60s. So, give it a rest. All right. So the first one's creepy crawlers. Who had creepy crawlers? Because that was my jam. I was all about said creepy crawlers. I will say this, though, boy, don't touch that metal plate. Don't do it. It's hot. It's super warm. You learn real fast. But creepy crawlers were my jam. Making insects out of goo. Plastic goop. I'm sure this was great for the environment. But you heat the mold, it comes out rubbery creatures, which is a lot of fun. Yeah, Burn City is correct, for sure. but the process is a lot of fun. You get to design your own, and like later versions of this, they had like dropper bottles, so you could change the colors up and do all kinds of stuff. So double dip. Yeah, like for instance, I'm doing Chandler Halderson here, but then and it's just the trial, but I'm going to focus on the crime on Brew Crime because that's the theme we're doing for the week. It just worked too well. I don't have a script written for this, so I'll write a script for that. Maybe I'll learn a little more so I can actually answer some questions here. So it helps. It helps. It helps. That's very true. They really did do that. Although I really would have liked, you can't eat them. So the Easy Bake Oven to me, that's the jam. The next one, I don't know if I'm too sure about, other than the movie Trolls. These trolls are out of nightmares. The ones nowadays, not so much. These frighten me greatly. Hello, Amy. They frighten me greatly. They really do. Yeah. So they made their first appearance at the end of the 1950s, but they captured the hearts in the 60s, and possibly your souls too. But they were unique. They were cool. They were nifty. The next thing is the Slinky. My kids have a Slinky, so I don't really know why this is part of this list. I think it's still a thing. Slinky eyes, though, that seems fun and also something that could injure you when it snapped back. So obviously it builds character, right? A simple metal spring. It is really fascinating. The story behind Slinky is fascinating too, for sure. So look into that. Play-Doh is still a thing. You know what? Obviously, I did not look at this list before. I just thought the title was cool and it had creepy crawlers, and that's all I needed. So Play-Doh, though, you know, in the late 50s came around. Can shape it however you want. However, I will say this much. If I ever have to clean out one of those squeeze things again where it comes out the other side, I will lose my mind. I will lose my ever-loving mind. It's not possible. It's just not possible. You just are going to end up with hard Play-Doh. Oh, well. Operation. Why is that person holding a cell phone if this is from the... You know what? We're not. I'm not going there. But this is really cool, too. Hand-eye coordination for sure, but also anxiety-inducing for sure, too. There is nothing, honestly, truly. There are two things that I think led to my anxiety problems. One, operation. Two, making sure that the Pokemon got stuck in the Pokeball on Game Boy Color. Because the entire time you're just like, ugh. And then when it dinged, it was okay. But up until that point, your heart was just like waiting along with your breath. So those definitely created just a little bit of anxiety. Mr. Potato Head, my kids have. I think Toy Story kept that in the mix for sure. Hey, look, I'm Picasso. So, yay. No, unless it's Monopoly Go at this point. But although it's great for math skills, but we don't gas math here, so sorry, kids. Maybe eventually. I always laughed at the joke. It was one of the very few jokes I laughed at regarding Dane Cook. But yeah, the Monopoly game playing with Grandma, and how like hours and hours later, Grandma's like destroying, but you're not bankrupt. And you're just like, all right, Grandma, you win. Flip the table. Oh, Etch-a-Sketch. My kids have an Etch-a-Sketch as well. Whoever did that is a butt. That is not what anything looked like ever, but impressive. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Then again, Rudy and I had a Saw marathon, so maybe that's more ridiculous. So I don't really have my handle of what is good and bad are different things. Light Bright, my kids have that too. So I don't really know why they put some of these on the list. The Magic 8 Ball, great, awesome, yeah. This is like the what is the paper thing that you turned and opened and turned and opened? Cootie catcher? What is it? I don't know. That's like that. But yeah, there's nothing that says self-confidence better than shaking a Magic 8 Ball saying, will she say yes when I ask her to the dance? And it says, decidedly not. Somebody should come up with a magic 8-ball that's in that package, but that's all negative things. Yep. Fortune tellers. Yes, ask again later, right? Yep. Oh my gosh. Ambiguous. The way those are put together is really interesting too. So if you ever get a chance to see how it's made, fun times. Fun times. So I thought that was a cool list, especially the creepy crawlers. That took me back. Well, yes. Yep, they are. Yep. For sure. But enjoyed them all the same. And they don't really make. We were just talking about McDonald's toys today, and just how they're not the same as they used to be. My kids recently got just a bunch of cards in a box, and now they just have a little stuffed Hulk, and so it's just like. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the fact that the toys are crap means people don't go enough or as much, which is not true. They still do. They're just crap toys. So work on it. Work on it, Mickey D's. Work on it. Yeah, right. Not as much as lead and cadmium. Yeah, that's truly what. See, it makes it heavier, so it feels more expensive, right? I still have plenty of the old toys. I don't know what it was originally meant. Well, hold on. It was used for wiping soot from wallpaper. Is that the right answer? Because I didn't know that at all. I do like silly putty, but I only like the silly putty that could pull the comics off the newspaper for sure. For sure. That's wild to me. That is not the thought that I thought it might be. All right. You see what happens when I'm left to my own doggone devices? I get all lost and off track. And we're all here to continue on with this beautiful trial known as Chandler Halderson v. Wisconsin. Strike that, reverse it. And I don't know if I'd straight call it beautiful. So, but this man, however, has been on point with his outfit the entire time, all 3 days. all three days. Hello. If I didn't say hello to you, hello everybody. Thank you for coming. And I will say this: Night Court is in session. Now it's definitely in session. Before it wasn't Night Court. I don't know what you were watching, not me. But we are going to continue on with Chandler Halderson, day 3. So
wait for it.
And here we go.
We're going to proceed today then with the state's case in chief. Attorney Brown.
State calls Dulce Melander.
all I gotta say is don't bring back Shunk. Also, why did it take so long?
Ms. Melander, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. I have to ask you 2 questions. First, I didn't hear myself. I don't know if the court reporter heard. Did you say yes to the oath that you swore?
Oh, I did.
Thank you.
I say yes.
Thank you. With the masks and with being nervous, I'm sure it was hard to tell. I wanted to make sure the record reflected that. Secondly, you just took off your mask. Are you comfortable, and do you think you can safely and responsibly testify without wearing a mask?
I just feel like they won't hear me then.
I appreciate that. And if you can do so, if you're okay being unmasked, we will all, except for whoever's asking questions, be unmasked. So we have that layer of protection. If that's all right with you, please proceed without your mask on. And I'll remask myself as I'm not going to do any more talking. Attorney Brown.
All right. Good morning. What we're going to start with is I'm going to have you tell us your name and spell it out because the court reporter is writing everything down.
My name is Dulce Melander, and DulceMellenter.
And Dulce, do you have a daughter named Catherine?
Yes, I do.
And does she go by the name Kat?
Yes.
And for a while, back last year and maybe a little before, was Kat dating someone named Chandler Halderson?
Yes,
And you got to know Chandler Halderson pretty well yourself, didn't you?
yes, yes.
Approximately,
Did you,
and
though?
it's okay if it's just kind of a range. How long do you think your daughter was dating Chandler?
Around 2 years.
And you would see Chandler pretty frequently?
Yeah, kind of, yes.
Okay.
It's gonna be a tough one.
So there's this thing we're going to do now where the judge in 1 second is going to have everyone that is wearing a mask take them off just briefly. That's over here. And I'm going to ask you,
But
do you see
this
Chandler in the
attorney,
courtroom? So
this
wait 1 second.
attorney is the
I would
one to
ask
do
if
it.
Everyone who's not in the jury box would lower their mask for the count of 3 so that the witness can observe everyone's faces. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and replace your masks, please.
Ms. Mellinger, do you see Chandler in the courtroom?
Yes.
Can you tell me where he's sitting and kind of describe what his clothes are today?
He is wearing a blue tie and kind of white.
And is he sitting to my left over here?
Yes,
I'd ask the record reflect identification.
It will.
Your daughter, in the course of dating Chandler, sometimes stayed with you and sometimes she had her own apartment, right?
yes.
Okay. And what types of things would you do where you would see Chandler while they were dating?
He will cook, we will cook, or we will be order beat ups.
B-dubs, Buffalo
Yeah.
Wild Wings?
Yes, yes.
And would you see him every day or every week or a couple times a month?
Well,
B
repeat that
Dubs
question
is not
again?
one
How
that's
often
been
would you
in
see
the
him?
trial.
Often when Catherine wasn't home, yes.
Were you aware from Chandler if he had a job back in 2021?
That's how
before all this
Ryan and I
happened?
call it. That's what we do.
He
B-dubs?
was working at
It used to be BW3s because it was Buffalo Wild Wings and something. I don't remember, but now it's B-dubs. Also, I'm lazy.
what is the name of that? Can you give me a second?
Yeah.
He was working at the swimming. I think it was a DNR or yeah.
Do you know what he was doing for them?
Well, he's a good swimmer, so he wasn't called to, I don't know, to rescue, to see something on the waters. I really, but it was something with the DNR, I remember.
He would get called to do rescues and things like that?
Yes. Very, I think. it was
Would he?
Yeah.
He
At
said
some
that he
point,
was a
did Chandler
rescue
get another
diver.
job that you were aware of?
Oh, yes. I took, yes.
Tell me about what job was that?
That was the American Family Insurance.
And what sticks out to you about remembering about Chandler working at American Family Insurance?
This guy is a
Well,
toolbox.
I took him out to eat because he got the job, but he had people, a group of people, they were putting on for him. Yes.
So you took him out to eat when he got the job?
Yes.
Where did you go to eat?
Oh, Mexican Rositas. He likes the tacos.
And was this kind of a celebratory dinner? Did people dress up and things like that?
Yeah, he was dressed up really nice.
And did Mr. Halderson or did Chandler tell you about the job that he was getting at American Family Insurance?
Briefly. It was something about computers. You know, he's a computer guy.
Sure. And he was dating your daughter at this time?
Oh, yeah.
Computer
Were you happy that
guy,
your daughter's
rescue
boyfriend had a
diver.
job?
Yes.
Was that important to you?
Objection.
Yes.
Overruled. The answer can stand.
What did that mean?
No, it was all legal nonsense. We'll just
Aw.
it's all right.
Aw.
So after the time you take him out to celebrate getting the American Family job, you get Mexican food. Did Chandler ever talk to you much about his job at American Family Insurance?
Yeah, he was working at home. That's about it.
Did you know anything about exactly what he was doing
Just computers.
Did
I
you know?
think-
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it was just computers and also I think it was just computers.
Thinking back to that dinner where you were celebrating him getting the job at American Family, if you had to give us kind of an approximate time, do you know when that was?
I think it was afternoon, mid-afternoon maybe. I don't quite remember.
What time of the year?
Oh,
Do you know if it was in the spring? Do you remember at all? It's okay if you don't.
no, I don't remember.
Who all went to that dinner?
I want to
Just
be
him and I.
friends with her.
You two together.
Yes.
Uh,
I asked him to meet me there.
Whose idea was it to go out?
Mine.
And because he had gotten the job,
Yes.
and you paid for dinner, I would imagine.
Yes. Yes.
So other than knowing he worked on some computer stuff and for American Family, did you know anything else about that job, really?
Well, he wanted to do the solar panels, but I don't know. I don't know the American Family.
And I wanted to be a circus
getting him for the
clown,
solar
but
panels.
come
but I
on,
know
you
he
can't just say
was
you are.
very good in computers.
Was Chandler around this time, was he going to school anywhere while he was working at American Family?
He was having, he was doing a credit because he was going to UW. So he was needed a credit to go to the UW, I think, because Catherine's, I think.
Did Chandler talk to you much about going to school and what classes he was taking?
No. It was one class that he needed to graduate.
He was about to graduate.
I think so.
Going into kind of the late spring of last year, so May, and then into
Technically,
June, maybe the summer.
What's live
into
streaming but
July,
being a
just
clown?
before everything started, that bad happened. Did Chandler get a new job somewhere else in the country?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'm sorry, but can we approach real quick?
Okay. We're gonna have a conversation that nobody else can hear, so we use this white noise.
Did Chandler ever talk to you about getting another job somewhere else in the country sometime this past year?
Yes.
And where was that job?
In Florida.
Do you know what he would be doing or where he'd be working?
He was supposed to get samples, but I don't know of what. But
Oh, go ahead.
but he was going to Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
Did he tell you what company it was?
Sir,
the
microphone.
very
Turn on your mic.
pricey cars. It's a very pricey car. I don't know the name of the car.
What type of car is it?
Oh, like $50,000 car.
Is it Tesla?
Tesla, yes.
Is it one of those?
But I think Tesla has another company that is from Tesla. I don't remember the name. I'm sorry.
Did Chandler share with you personally? And I know he shared a lot with your daughter, but I'm asking kind of what you knew just from Chandler.
Mhm.
Did he share with you any details about what this job was? What he'd be doing?
He was going to get those samples, and he also was working for the solar panels too, because I think it has something to do. It's kind of an engineering job or something like that. Yeah.
The job in Florida was?
Yes. Yes.
Did he tell you, you personally, if you'd be making more money or less money? Did you talk about money at all about that job?
But he says that he will have a good job. It will good money. Yeah.
Did Chandler ever talk to you about where he was going down there? If he had gotten a house or anything like that?
It was an apartment that he showed me
How did he show you?
in his cell phone.
Did he say if you had a car or anything like that?
Yes. Yes.
Tell me what you knew about that from Chandler.
He's
Well,
a huge
Catherine
liar.
has my car. And
Honestly,
I
I'm not
say
surprised
that,
she's
you know, Catherine,
confused.
if you guys need a car, take my car. And the three of us, we were talking about the car in the apartment. And I'm sorry, it's just a bed burp. And he says that his cars over there, they are very cheap because older people they're kind of, they don't drive anymore, or they're past, and then they have cars in there. So he was ordering the car, and I say that I will sign my car for them can sell it and then can buy maybe 2 cars. Oh, and then he was saying, oh, I will take care of it.
She mentioned your daughter. Was your daughter going to go with Chandler before for what you did?
Yes.
Glad we have closed captions. He forgot his microphone.
Did Chandler talk to you about that? About having Catherine there with him?
The day that he brought Catherine home because she have an injury in her back, he did. He basically asked me,
Your permission.
yeah,
What did you think about it?
I was very worried.
Why?
She's my only daughter. I was uncertain.
You're uncertain.
Yes.
I'm going to start asking you questions about kind of the 4th of July week. Okay? You remember the 4th of July weekend that we mentioned last year?
Oh, yes, yes.
On the 4th of July weekend, there were some plans to get together, right? With Catherine and Chandler and other people. Right?
Yes.
You were living here in Madison at the time, right?
Yes.
But is it your fiance?
Yes.
Chris
Yes.
has a farm kind of in a rural area of Dayton, right?
Yes.
So it's Chris's farm, but you're in Dayton.
The ultimate
Yes. We got
shade
engaged in
of it all.
Yes.
And Chris lives in that farm with her the elderly farm.
Yes.
You go out there.
I live part-time there, yes.
Judge, sorry again, but can we approach?
Say it.
Oh, all right.
Well, we have a swimming pool, and we ask if they want to swim, they can swim, or just eat, and yeah.
Where were you going to have this get together?
Oh, at the farm. Yeah.
Can you tell the jury a little bit about what does it look like?
Do I have to face them?
You're facing me.
But do pull the microphone a little bit closer because the fans seem fairly noisy right now. Go ahead.
It's like a
You need
paradise.
some new fans.
It's peaceful. It's green, and it's flowers that you don't see. It's just beautiful.
So the 4th of July weekend, who all went out to the farm for this evening?
Chandler, Catherine, James, one of James' friend, Chris, Michael, and Papa, and me.
Did Chandler talk at all at the 4th of July get together about having suffered any sort of injuries, had injuries or things of that sort?
I beg your pardon?
Sure. Did Chandler ever tell you around that time about suffering any sort of concussion or head injury?
Oh, we knew. I knew that he had a concussion. Yeah, he fell.
And was Chandler acting the same or differently than usual on the 4th of July?
He was kind of okay, quiet. But yeah, he was sitting at the table with the other kids. So
What types of things did you do that day?
we ate, and we were waiting that the kids will be going and use the pool, and then went and used the pool actually. Just happy that the kids were at home.
The kids used the pool?
Yeah.
Did Chandler-
Catherine and James' friend used the pool. Yes. I don't know if Chandler got into the pool, but I think Chandler always was cleaning the debris. Yeah.
Cleaning the pool?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he was rescuing the debris. He must have been rescuing the debris.
The next day, do you know if Chandler went back to the farm on July 5th, which would be a Monday?
Yes.
And how did you become aware that Chandler went back?
Because Catherine texted me.
Did you then go out to the farm?
I fly to the farm. Yes.
Why do you fly to the farm? That's so fast.
You mean the thing that didn't happen?
I was just worried.
Check, please.
Can I have 1 minute?
There's another bottle of water around the corner.
Oh.
I know there's a smoke. Do you want to take it?
Yes.
Do you need a break?
Yes.
Do you think that you need more than just a few moments outside of the courtroom?
Just a few minutes.
Okay.
Right now.
I'll go ahead and excuse the witness. Don't talk about your testimony with anyone, but you can go back to where Ms. Brown is in the vestibule.
Oh, man.
Go right this way.
Oh,
You forgot your mask. I'll grab it.
oh, that was on cue. That was on microphone. Okay.
We excuse ourselves and
Good for this judge. That was super nice.
Like it. By the driveway, because my fiance sometimes is a big farm, so sometimes she just like to be with just no top.
In the pool.
To go to the pool, yeah, he might.
Prior to by himself, alone without Kat. So the better question is, do you know if Chandler usually
No,
went out there by
sir.
himself?
Prison glasses
Oh, no.
for you.
No, Chandler will never go to the farm without Catherine.
So this would have been the first time that you're aware of?
Yes.
So you drive out to the farm. You flew out there, I think you said.
Yes, because I was worried that Chandler will had the shock of his life seeing my partner.
When you get there, do you talk to your partner, Chris?
When I got there, it was Chandler and Chris talking on the porch.
You know what they were talking about? Did you overhear it?
But I opened the door and Chandler looked like sad, kind of sleepy, like, those, like, I don't know. He did not look okay to me, but I didn't hear what they were talking until Chris says there was some news.
Okay. There was some news. Do you know what the news was? Did you hear Chandler talk about it? What was that news?
That he didn't get a job.
Which job?
The one in Florida.
Okay. Do you know why he didn't get that job?
Because it didn't
Because
exist.
he couldn't. He was supposed to be there, but his brother got sick, so he couldn't go.
No.
And the
He blamed
next
it on his
time,
brother?
he fell and couldn't go. And I think they couldn't hold the job anymore because he can't go. He couldn't fly
You
to
get
Florida.
nothing. You
Because
lose.
of the
Good
fall?
day, sir.
Mhm. The concussion, his concussion was really bad.
What did Chandler ask to do, or what happened next at the farm?
Well, we were very supportive. We were like, he lost a good job, and I was worried about him putting on money for the apartment, and Chris and I were trying to find out how can we help him because he looked really, really like down. And
Did you all stay together, or did some point Chandler go somewhere else on the farm?
we were talking, and then after that he basically excused himself to go swimming.
And did he go by himself, or did you go with him at that point?
No, he went by himself.
Okay. What did you and Cress do while Chandler was swimming?
We were trying to figure it out how to help them, how to help him. He just got a concussion. I was very upset with Krista because why she wasn't to taking him that day. He has a doctor's appointment.
You thought his mom should have been there.
Yeah. So we were talking about as a mom, I was very upset with his mom.
How long? At some point, did you go down to the pool to check on Chandler with Cress?
Yeah, we were. I was asking Chris to what
YouTube
we're gonna have
captions
for
never
dinner. I bring
fail.
chicken, and she was very upset. And it was a while.
How long do you think it was before you went down to check on Chandler at the pool?
I don't know, probably half an hour maybe, or a little bit longer, because I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But
Did you go alone, or did you and Cress go together?
no, we got together. Oh yeah, of course.
And how did you get down to that area?
We use a little car where we mow the lawn.
A lawnmower?
Yeah, lawnmower. So I basically inherited the lawnmower that Papa used to use, and so we, like a two grannies going to.
You were both on the lawnmower?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you
She's
drive down toward the pool?
Amazing. She is so adorable.
Well, we drove to the pool. Yes.
Tell me about where you went as you were driving.
What do you mean?
Yeah, where did you go first when you started driving down to the pool?
Well, we went to the pool. It's on a little hill. So we went, and we didn't see Chandler swimming. We didn't see anything. So we turned right, and we we saw the car, and I thought he was sleeping.
Where was the car in relation to the pool? Was it close or farther away?
Oh,
Would it help if I showed you a map?
oh yes,
A photo?
sure.
Okay.
Oh, a photo, yeah.
I have a huge photo of the farm.
Oh,
Okay. I'm going to show you. I told you. It was
You
big.
should have led with
It's
that.
number 57. Is that the farm
So you're telling me there's a chance?
from above? From like an airplane?
yes, that is the shed.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people out there
Yeah,
like
so
that.
the house, you cannot see it because it's a lot of trees.
Sure.
But can I
Work
point
hard,
it?
play hard.
Yeah, so here's what I'll do. Does this look to be like what the farm would have looked like back in July, except for all of these police cars that are kind of involved? But otherwise, is this what the farm looked like?
Yes.
All right, I'll move 57 into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
It is received. It may be published.
All right, I'm going to move this a little bit closer to you, okay?
Okay.
And you can stand up if you'd like. How about if you could you point, where's the driveway meet the road? Where's the entrance to the farm?
Right over here.
Follow it all the way down and right there. All right, I'll hold on to this.
That's a solid drone shot.
And where's the house? Can you point to that?
Oh, right.
You can kind of see the roof.
Yes. That is the house. This is the other shed.
And where's the pool that we're talking about? Okay. Now, if you could, kind of standing off to the side so these folks can see you, if you could point
Did you all
to-
think that was a pool?
maybe just take your finger and trace the way that you drove down to the pool on that lawnmower.
We always go.
This
Okay.
this attorney,
And the pool is
prosecutor
here.
is
Where
so
did you say
good.
you saw Chandler's car?
Oh, about right here.
Okay. And you said you thought he was sleeping?
Yeah, the back of the car, the trunk was open, so I thought he was sleeping.
Okay. And did you drive your lawnmower? Did you folks drive over by that car to look in? And what did you see?
I saw something that was a little bit metal. It looks like, you know, when you put a car and it's like a little,
Like a ramp?
yeah, like a little ramp.
Okay.
Like a gray kind of.
Bill, you want to move the mic? It's
I-
really difficult to hear.
Sure.
Yep.
How about you take a seat real quick and we'll keep asking
And while
questions.
we're moving, let me just reflect for the record that if you think of the upper half of the picture and the middle of the upper half, the witness indicated that the road from the access road to the driveway to the house is in the upper middle portion of the half. You can see a small amount of roadway. She traced her finger through the woods, demonstrating that the house is within the wooded area in that upper quadrant, identified the swimming pool as a round shape, and indicated that the driving with herself and Cress on the lawnmower was from the area approximately where the house was down to the back of the shed, and indicated
mean
that
Janet
the
and Rita?
vehicle of Mr.
That is a
Halderson
reference.
was lower into the lower half of the picture, approximately where you can see some unidentified objects that don't appear to be cars. Is that accurate, counsel?
That's fair. Well, why don't you, if you could, one more time, point to where Mr. Halderson's car was when you drove down there?
That's the part I couldn't see as clearly.
It was right over here.
All right. And so we'll just say that is approximately 3 inches below the barn on the photograph.
And in between the cars and the other items, if you were to split that distance kind of at an intersection between a line south if you view north as the top of the picture of the barn, intersecting with a line between those white cars and the other objects.
That's fine. All right, you can take a seat.
Any problem with that description, counsel?
No.
All right, thank you.
And we have to do that because we're typing out the court record. So when we point to things, the judge will describe what they are sometimes. So you saw the car, you said the back was open, and you saw maybe a ramp type thing. Did you see Chandler in that car?
No. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, no.
Um,
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
There we go.
Sorry. No,
Oh,
Chandler
there's
wasn't
so
in the car.
much.
no,
At that time, when you're looking at the car, did you see where Chandler was right then?
no,
Did you know where Chandler was?
no.
What did you and Crest do?
But she was upset. And I said, well,
I'm going to object at this point.
I'm sorry, object to.
Possible hearsay that may come out.
I'm sorry.
Possible hearsay that may come out.
What?
Possible.
I'm sorry.
Attorney Brown will rephrase the question to make sure he's asking what you thought or said.
Sure. And you know Crest is going to testify next, right?
Oh,
In
yeah.
this case. So the jury is only going to hear from you now and then Crest next. So anything she said, we'll hear from her. But what did you and Crest do at that time? Not what was said, but what did you do?
Oh, we went to the pool.
Okay.
Mine.
You jumped in the pool.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it just you and Crest in the pool?
Yeah. Mhm.
At some point while you were in the pool, did you see Chandler or figure out where Chandler was?
No, he was coming to the pool.
Okay. You saw him?
Mhm.
Okay. If you could, I'm going to have you stand up and point to where did you see Chandler coming from the first time you saw him while you were in the pool? Okay. All right.
The pool is right here.
Okay. And did you see where he'd come from before that? Okay. I'll note the witness just pointed to the right of the barn, essentially. That's fine.
Thank you. That does appear to be accurate. Counsel for the defense agrees. Perfect. We have the what you pointed to reflected accurately in the record. Thank you.
Okay.
What did Chandler do? You saw him coming. Where did he go or what did he do?
He asked if he can get in the pool with us.
And what did you say?
I was like, I was like,
Does anybody else think
no.
it's like this?
No.
But I say it myself, no.
Why?
Anybody else? Would you like to be in the hot tub?
Because Chris didn't have clothes on the top.
She didn't have a top on. Okay. Did Chandler, what happened next? Did Chandler go away? Did he get in the pool? What happened?
He got in the pool.
What did Chandler do once he got in the pool?
He got in the pool anyways? Even though she
He
said
was
no?
just, he was looking. He was
What a-
looking to
Words I
the
can't
horizon.
put together.
And was he in the water?
Yes.
What was he doing in the water physically? Was he moving around? Was he swimming?
He was like going underwater and, putting on water on his body and,
So you're making those motions on your arm. And this is one of those weird things because we have to type down everything that's happening. How would you describe it when you put your hands on your arms?
like he was, putting on water. When you put water and
So staring off kind of through that field toward the horizon and
yes, because Chris is behind me and I put my body to kind of shield her but Chandler was looking to the horizon. And then he turned around and then he was getting more on the water and he was like on the water. Like
Okay. Was he saying anything?
not much. the water was nice and warm, but
Did you or Cress ask Chandler where he had been?
Objection to the form of the question.
It's a yes, no.
You can
Did
rephrase.
Chandler tell you where he had been?
no, I thought he went for a walk because he wasn't in the car. He was walking. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I said to Chris.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. If you don't remember, that's okay. But when Chandler was walking toward the pool and right before he got in, did he still have all his clothes on, or did he have some of his clothes off?
He had his shorts on, and he didn't.
I would hope
he didn't
so.
have
Then
his
again-
I think his shirt was off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So tell me if I'm
He's a
remembering this
goof.
correctly. So you see him walking, coming from next to the bar, and as you see him, he's wearing his shorts, but not his shirt. He
Mhm.
gets in the pool, he stares off kind of toward the horizon, and he is splashing water onto himself.
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Did he tell you anything at all about what he was going to do next or what his plans were that day?
Yes, he was going to my place because Catherine was making his favorite. And we asked what was his favorite. And he says McDonald's.
He said he's going to go get McDonald's.
McDonald's. And I said, Catherine is a lazy. She should not make McDonald's.
You thought your daughter would cook something better.
I'm like, yeah. I mean, they always cook good food in the house.
Sure. How long were you in the pool with Chandler? You and Cress and Chandler. How long did that last?
I don't know, probably, I don't remember how long, but I mean, we
Maybe
were
they'll wrap it up
still, you know,
in a bow at the
I
end.
think maybe.
Maybe this is foundation for
15
something else.
minutes, Maybe.
Do you know how it ended? Did everyone get out at the same time, or did
No.
how did it end with Chandler?
There it
and
is.
Dana?
Chandler, after Chandler, went and swim for a little bit. He didn't swim because he didn't even wet his hair. After he went and just splashed himself, then he get out of the pool and then I feel more comfortable, and so
Chandler left at that point?
yes.
Um,
Well, he has to go back to pick up his car.
Sure. And did you see him after that, or did he leave at that point after he got his car?
No, he just went, got his car, and then drove off, and we just waved him. We was very happy that he was.
I
he
mean,
came, which
to
was
him,
strange that-
maybe.
It's strange because.
But to
Catherine was not
everybody
here.
else, heebie-jeebies all the way.
At any point the day before the 4th of July when you were out there, or this day, the July 5th, Monday, so Sunday or Monday when you see Chandler, does he tell you that his parents are anywhere, at a cabin or anything like that?
Yes, he says that they were going up north, went up north. But that was Sunday. They already left, and I already knew because, yeah, I already knew.
Did Chandler ever express any concern to you about where his parents were? That he was worried about them at all?
He looked worried, yeah.
He looked worried? But maybe, did he say anything
Yeah.
about that, or just looked worried?
No, he didn't say too much about it. But on Tuesday, that was different.
Right. And we're going to go there in 1 second, but one more question about the July 4th and July 5th when you see Chandler out at the farm. Would you describe the way he was acting, his behavior?
Objection, leading.
We'll hear the full question.
Would you describe his behavior or the way he was acting? Was that normal for Chandler? Was it different than usual?
It was a little bit different.
Okay. What do you
On
mean?
the Sunday?
Yeah, let's talk about Sunday or even
Yes.
Monday the next day. What do you mean by different?
Sunday when he was kind of okay and with the kids because the
Care
kids sit
Bears
down
for
in
my
the
nightmares.
same table, and they were interacting, but for some reason Chandler was, a little bit more quiet in a way. But he was, and he looked kind of also sleepy.
On the 4th of July?
Yeah,
What about the next day?
tired. The next day, I'm sorry, I just thought that Chandler was so depressed that he probably took his mom's pills because she had cancer. So I thought
Objection.
what?
Speculation? What are you
Okay.
objecting
Hold on
to?
1 second. We're going to talk again. Case. I'm going to ask the question a different way. Sometimes when we do that, I'll rephrase the question, meaning I'll ask it a different way. You've talked to police a lot in this case, right? And told them what
Right.
happened?
Right.
Fair to say that you described that day of the 5th when Chandler was out there, that he was acting kind of dopey and just way different than usual, maybe.
Right.
Okay. Now, after this day is over and Chandler leaves, that's the 5th. So you saw him on July 4th, 4th of July, everyone's out. July 5th, he's out using the pool. You see him a couple days later, right? Tell me about that.
The next day?
Yeah.
Well, it was Tuesday, so we had beat ups.
Sure. Is that your normal thing?
Yeah.
You have some Buffalo Wild Wings that day?
Yeah.
That's a family thing.
Yes, Chandler, James, and Catherine and I, we like beat ups. So we always buy what my son's likes, what Catherine likes, what Chandler likes, and what I like. And it's just the 4 of us.
And that was on Tuesday?
Yes.
Because it's buy one, get one free, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I think so too. And you've mentioned James a couple times. James is your son.
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
And this was at your house?
Yes.
Okay. Did Chandler say anything? And again, I'm only looking for things Chandler said to you, not James or Catherine. They're, that's a different thing. But did Chandler say anything to you when you guys were doing the Buffalo Wild Wings night about his parents or where they were?
He was just worried because his parents he wasn't here from his parents yet.
Okay. Did he tell you anything more about that?
No.
How was he acting on this day?
Tired. Sad in a way, maybe.
Teddy Ruxpin.
At some point, did
Which
you
we
find
never
out that
had.
Bart and Krista Halderson were missing? Like the people were looking for them and they didn't know where they were.
Well, 2 times it was brought up that they were missing. And on Tuesday, I questioned
You said it.
myself how they're missing. And I questioned saying, I will say that I didn't hear from my parents, or my parents hasn't called me, or I would not say missing unless I know they were missing.
Okay. And I know other people may have, but did you personally talk to Chandler about filing a police report or what to do about his parents missing, like what actions he should take?
No.
Did you know Bart and Krista Halderson very well yourself?
No. I just know what Chandler told me.
Okay.
Yeah. And Catherine, of course.
I am your dentist.
I'm going to take a break now for just 1 second. So if you want to get a drink of water, but it'll just be about 30 seconds, okay?
Can I?
Sure. Counsel, the witness would like to use the restroom, so I'm going to excuse her to go do that as you consult, and then she'll come right back. Crossing. Attorney Brown.
No further questions.
All right. Attorney Vera, did the defense wish to engage in cross-examination at this time?
Yes, thank you. Would you prefer if I call you Dulce or Ms. Melander?
Dulce.
Okay. I promise I'm not as scary as I make it seem right now. Sometimes I just have to tell Bill not to do things, and that's what we're doing, okay? So I just have a couple questions for you.
I have to tell
And I
him
know-
not to do. I have to tell him not to do things. She said, "I'm sorry, we broke it up. Sometimes I have to tell Bill, no, you can't do it."
You may not like this topic, but I just want to clear up some points. When you were talking about Cress in the farm and in the pool, she was topless, correct?
Yes.
And it makes you uncomfortable, correct? Talking about it.
Very.
So when we saw you, that was just you being uncomfortable about Cress being topless and Chandler having to see that, correct?
Both.
Both the fact that she was topless and the fact that Chandler had to see.
No, that the fact that she was topless and that Chandler came in the pool.
Gotcha. Okay. But as far as Chandler making you feel uncomfortable, that's not something that you were feeling personally. It was just the situation with Cress being topless. And let me ask it this way. That day in the pool on
Yeah,
the 5th,
please.
it was
Rephrase.
just a weird situation. Is that fair?
It was very weird, the whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Chandler was acting dopey. I think that's what the DA used.
Yes, but also I know Chandler that he is very polite, so I was like kind of surprised how there he went in the pool when Chris was topless, and he made me uncomfortable for that.
And that makes total sense. I would react that way too. Now, as far as your interactions with Chandler go, you mentioned that you took him out to dinner.
It wasn't dinner, it was more like lunch. I think I say it was midday.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you took him out for lunch and it was just you and him, right?
Yes, yeah.
Was that the first time you had interactions with Chandler where it was just you and him?
Yes.
And most of the times he's with Kat, correct?
Yes.
And you also mentioned something about whenever it's him and Kat and you guys cook. Is that correct?
Didn't cook, yeah. Chandler is, yes.
Does Chandler help out?
Chandler likes to make good salmon, so yeah, Catherine and Chandler, they didn't cook.
So
They
they
leave
cook
I
a
knew there was
mess,
something
but-
fishy about him.
as they do.
Yeah.
So they cook, you take advantage, but then you have to clean. Is that fair?
Well, I have to clean, yeah.
Is the food worth it at least?
I beg your pardon?
Is the food worth the cleaning?
Phrasing.
Sorry, is the food worth the cleaning that you have to do?
Oh,
It's not a funny joke, ma'am, in a murder trial if you have to say it 3 times. Move
yes,
on.
Chandler is a good cook.
And I have the same problem you do, or sometimes I need to speak into the mic, so that's why I'm sitting down right now.
Okay.
So in general, your interactions with Chandler and Kat, they're good, yes?
In some ways, yes.
And Chandler is a quiet person, correct?
Yes.
And we'll see your daughter later, but she brings out some of Chandler's funniness, if you will.
Yes. He can be funny.
He can be funny, but normally he's just quiet. He's a
That's
quiet
good
guy.
because you might have
Um,
ended up playing with Chandler.
Well, I think is when they were together. I mean, he was
Where's my
kind of
rim
funny.
shot
Yeah,
button?
he was.
have one.
Yeah,
Oh well.
in a way, Yeah,
I mean, yes, we're all funny in a way. I get that.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any other questions for you. Thank you so much.
Any
Okay.
redirect? May this witness be excused and released?
Excuse.
Okay.
What
You're excused
was
from
the point
testifying
of
any
that
further
cross?
today, or at least this morning. But the state is maintaining you under subpoena, which means you can't discuss your testimony with anyone else. And they'll let you know when you're released from the subpoena itself. All right? Thank you. And you can take the water with you. Thank you very
Oh.
much.
Yeah, I don't have no butter.
Oh, if it's all gone, that's fine too. Thank you.
State of Wisconsin
Not
calls
really.
Crescent LaSalle.
Not really. Oh, it's just Chandler being a tool. Per usual. But also it's night court, so always. This.
Good morning.
Morning.
If you believe you can do so safely and responsibly, testifying without a mask would be our preference. Would that be something you could feel that you could do today?
No.
All right. If you prefer to maintain your mask, I understand. Pull the microphone much closer because it does muffle our sound naturally.
Okay.
And if I have trouble hearing you and I'm really close to you, I'll ask you to do even closer just so everybody who's a little further away can hear. And as you can hear, the blowers are on this morning, so it muffles sound a little bit. Thank you.
Okay.
Please proceed, Attorney Raymond.
Thank you. Could you please state your full name, both first and last for the record, and then spell both your first and last name?
Crescent LaSalle, CRESENT L''SAI.
And Ms. LaSalle, do you know
Unique.
somebody by the name of Dulce Melander?
Yes, I do.
How do you know her?
She's my girlfriend.
Okay. And does she refer to you often as Cress?
Yes, everyone mostly does. And you
Okay.
can as well.
And do you know somebody by the name of Catherine Melander?
Yes, I do.
How do you know her?
I know her through Dulce. She's her daughter.
And through Catherine or Kat, did you become acquainted with somebody by the name of Chandler Halderson?
Yes.
And the judge will probably ask everyone to remove their masks besides you and the jury. But could you see Mr. Halderson Chandler in the courtroom today?
As you
Yes,
look-
I do.
As you look at the faces, I'll ask everyone not in the jury box to lower their mask and then replace their mask, please. Go ahead and answer. the
This makes
question
more
if you could.
Yes.
Sense to
Could
me.
you just let us know where he's seated and perhaps the color of his shirt?
Well, he's sitting across the room over there. He's got a blue tie on.
Okay, I'd ask the record to reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
It shall.
What sort of relationship did you have with Chandler in June or so of 2021?
This year?
Yes.
Well,
Well, last year technically because it's January, but yes.
true, yeah. Well, I didn't spend a whole lot of time with Chandler. To know him through Catherine mostly. Most
Sure.
of the times I saw him were either get-togethers or through her.
Okay. And roughly, where do you live?
In Cottage Grove, in the
Okay.
town.
In a rural part of Cottage Grove?
Yes.
And just while I approach you, I'm gonna put my mask on.
Thank you.
Nobody's ever complained I was quiet. I'm gonna show you what's been marked and received as Exhibit 57. Is this an overhead picture of your property in Cottage Grove?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So your house, you can barely see the roof right there. Is that
I like
correct?
the name
That's
though.
correct. It's in the wooded
I think
area.
that's a great
Okay.
name.
And that's like the top half, almost right in the middle of Exhibit 57. And this is a barn or a shed?
Yeah, it's an old tobacco shed.
Okay. And right here, this is a pool?
Yes,
Okay. And all of this wooded area, is that your property?
yes,
And there's more property over here that's not shown.
true. That's correct.
What is on that property?
You mean the part that's unseen?
Yeah.
It's all grassy area. It's in a CRP program, a set-aside program, so it's just for wildlife.
So it's like wildflowers.
Oh,
Some
cool.
people might describe it as like a briar, like little
Yeah,
bushes.
yeah, there's actually wild raspberries and things that can grow in there, right?
Before July 4th weekend, how many times approximately had Chandler been out to your property?
Ooh, I couldn't say exactly.
It's
I
a
gave you an
lovely
estimate.
property.
Sure,
You
an
know what?
estimate is just fine.
Like 10 or 12 times maybe.
Okay. And did he ever come out there prior to the July 4th?
Does anybody else feel like they probably I don't know, probably thought Chandler was lying? I feel like they might have.
weekend by himself, or was he always with somebody else?
He always was with someone else. He'd never come out there alone before that I'm aware of.
Okay. And generally, I assume that was his girlfriend, Kat?
Yeah, she was always with him.
Okay. And prior to July 4th weekend, what understanding did you have as far as what Chandler did for a living?
Well, what I understood is he'd gotten a job at American Family. He was working there as far as I knew.
And did you have any understanding as if he was attending school or not?
I wasn't, I knew he had been in school, but I didn't know if he was going to school recently, but I knew he was in school. He was getting
Okay.
ready to graduate.
Okay. Do you see Chandler Halderson over the July 4th weekend?
Yes,
And what day did you see him?
on Sunday,
So July 4th itself.
yes.
How did Mr. Halderson behave on that day?
Well, he kind of seemed a little lot not like himself. If that
Can
makes
you
sense.
describe that? What do you mean by that?
He just seemed kind of off, like kind of weird, actually.
Okay.
Because he just kind of seemed.
Okay. You asked him how he felt. What did you remember how he responded?
Yeah, he just said, "Oh, I'm doing okay, or I'm doing the best that I can," and because he had an accident, he fell down the stairs or something. So I thought maybe it was because of the accident that he was acting off.
Sure. Was he displaying any physical symptoms on July 4th?
Not that I saw him.
Nah, he's just weird.
Was he wearing a neck brace at all on July 4th when you saw him?
No,
Did he act in any way that he seemed like disabled? Did he have any trouble walking or anything like that?
no, I didn't notice that.
Okay.
It's fine.
Did you have
Hey,
any
we're all
one-on-one
fine. We're completely fine.
conversations
It's
with
fine.
Chandler on July 4th?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, shortly after he was done eating, the kids were sitting at the table in my family room, and they'd gotten up, and I was kind of walking towards the kitchen, and he approached me and asked me if he could have my phone number, my personal phone number, because he wanted to know if he could come and use the pool.
Okay, did you give him your number?
Yeah, I gave him my cell number and I also gave him my landline
Okay,
because I don't always answer my cell phone and I don't have voicemail on my cell phone.
okay. Did you guys have any further discussion on that day?
I don't recall.
Okay. So obviously prior to July 4th, he didn't have your number to your knowledge.
Not to my knowledge, I didn't give it to him.
Okay. And in all fairness, when you hung out with Chandler prior to July 4th, it was always with other people,
Yes,
namely Dulce and her family.
correct.
As of July 4th, did you have any knowledge about the whereabouts of Chandler's parents?
No, I didn't even know their names.
Did you know whether or not, had you heard any stories or anything about them being missing at this point?
No.
Okay. Let's fast forward to the next day, Monday, July 5th. Did you have any interactions with Chandler on Monday, July 5th?
Yes.
What's the first interaction you had with Chandler on that day?
Oh, the first interaction was I opened up my window. I live in a 2-story and I saw a car in my driveway. I came in from outside to get a drink of water and I saw a car and I didn't recognize the car. And someone was standing in my driveway and it was Chandler. So I
Okay.
opened the window because he was kind of standing holding his phone and looking around. And so I opened the window and I asked him if he was okay. And he said, yeah. And I said, are you here to use the pool? And he said, yeah, would that be all right? And I said, yeah, sure.
Were you expecting Chandler that day?
No.
All right. So do you remember about what time he showed up to use your pool? Just approximate, if you remember.
It was in the afternoon. I just remember coming in. It was really hot that day. I was working on a project. And so I came in to get a drink of water. So it was probably mid-afternoon-ish, I would say.
Okay. And what was Chandler like when you talked to him right there about using the pool? Was there anything noteworthy?
You mean when he was in the driveway?
Yeah.
Well, he just looked a little kind of spaced out a little bit,
Sure.
That's why I was kind of, because he kept looking around and holding his phone and, like I said, I was just a little startled because I'm like, who's here,
Sure. Your property's pretty remote.
Yeah, it is.
And your property, just to clear things up, is in Dane County, Wisconsin.
Correct.
So what happened after you told Chandler he could use the pool?
Well, he drove up, because if you come, I live on a hill, and when you come to the driveway, it's kind of in the middle of the hill, and so you have to drive further up the hill to where the pool is. So he drove up there.
Okay. Did you see at this time when he was going to use the pool, did you see at this time where he parked?
No, I did not see where he had parked at that time.
Okay. All right. So do you guys have any further discussion before he goes to use the pool?
He did come down to where I was working on my project, which was putting on a ramp on my deck. I was putting a ramp so that my father and my brother could get up and down the deck in their on the scooter and the wheelchairs.
Okay.
And so when I was working on that, he'd come down. There's a hill that leads down to my house, and he'd come walking down that hill. And then we had a conversation.
Now try it.
What did you guys talk about?
Well, he was telling me about his accident. He said he was at a doctor's appointment. And so he was talking to me about what the doctor had said and what was going on.
Did he tell you when that appointment had been?
I don't remember.
Okay. What did he say occurred?
Well, he told me that he had like damage, and I asked him where, and he said in this area of his head, in the back of his head. And
all right. So you put your hand right
Yeah,
above
he
the top
said
of your neck.
back here, yeah.
Okay.
the back of his head.
And did he elaborate on what that damage was?
Well, he said it wasn't good, that they might have to do some surgery or something, and that he said he was having trouble like with numbers, and he said he got lost. He had to use a GPS. He's just like said his mind was kind of messed up and wasn't thinking so well.
Okay. Did you guys discuss anything besides just his physical health?
Yeah, I asked him, how basically how he was, overall doing, and about his job, because he said he was getting a new job in Florida, and I asked him about that. And
What did he say?
Well, he said that he probably wasn't going to get the job, that some manager had told him that it wasn't going to work out because of his injury, that he wasn't able to work. And then I'd asked him about maybe he could
I would see that as
go
discrimination.
back to American Family, and he said no, he didn't. He said that wouldn't happen. He wouldn't be able to do that. So he seemed concerned about, maybe not having a job and what was he going to kind of do. And I asked him, would he talk to his parents? Maybe could he talk to them, or, things like that, just to try to reassure him, because he just seemed upset about this news that he had gotten from the doctor.
Sure. And what did he respond to that?
To what?
To talk to the idea of talking to his parents about his job and health.
And he said, no, they're still up north. And I just says, well, maybe it would help you to talk to them. And his response is, he says, no, they'll just be mad. And which seemed odd to me, why his parents would be upset with him, that he was hurt and couldn't work. It just seemed odd to me.
Okay.
He was lying.
How long do you think this conversation took place?
Oof, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right. What happened after the conversation?
Well, I'm trying to remember, Dulce showed up. She'd come, I wasn't expecting her, but she had come to the house, and she came through the house. We were sitting on the deck, and she came and was like, what's going on? And I said, oh, well, I'm just chatting with Chandler here. And I guess he doesn't have such good news. And then she came out and sat down and asked what was
Or
going
manners.
on. And then
Or
we
people
started
skills.
to kind of go back over what him and I had talked about, to explain to her what was happening.
Sure. And the jury's already had the opportunity to hear from Dulce, so I don't need you to repeat anything that she said.
Okay.
But what kind of happened next in the events of?
Well, then
that
he
day?
went to go use the pool, because before he'd come down and I'd asked him, how was the pool? He didn't answer. And so he said he was going to go back to use the pool. And then Dulce and I continued to talk, because we just felt something was a little odd, so we were concerned, and her and I had a conversation about him of what was going on.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
Well, I kind of got irritated. It was so hot, and I wanted to go swimming, and I was waiting for him to be done using the pool so I could go jump in the pool. And so I was getting impatient and waiting, wondering what was taking him so long. So I said, look, I'm going to go get in the pool. I'm done. I'm hot and I'm tired, and I want to go cool off. And she said, okay. So she went to go get her suit, and then her and I have this little riding lawnmower. And so we got on the riding lawnmower to go up to tell him, hey, we're going to go swimming now. And when we got up there, he wasn't in the pool, and the cover was still on the pool. And
Okay. So hold on. The pool has a cover.
yeah, I have like a solar. It heats up. It helps get the water warm, so it just lays flat on the top.
Sure.
So it's got like little bubble.
And obviously you have to remove said cover to get into the pool.
Yeah, there's times I got lazy where I could fold it over just to get in, but I usually like to take it off so I could have the whole
Was it
pool.
folded over so somebody could get in?
She
at all?
removes the
No.
cover, and then she removes
Right.
the cover.
So the covers on the pool is Chandler in sight when you're over. by the pool.
It's bacon!
And just is exhibit 57. Here's the pool, the round blue. This is an aerial photo, so it almost just looks like a dot.
Right, that's the pool area.
Okay, so what do you do next?
Well, when we drove up, and you could kind of see no one was in the pool, and I didn't see. I was looking for him, and then when I looked to my right, when we came up the hill, I had the doors open in the shed, And I could see through the shed that his car was parked on the other side of the shed.
All right, can you approach Exhibit 57 here and kind of point to where you saw Chandler's vehicle?
We came up, there's a hill here, and we came up and we could see through the doors.
You could.
The car was parked right about here.
Okay, thank you. So he was parked kind of near, this is some wood and an oil drum.
Yeah, there's a pile of timber logs, and then it's like my scrap.
I know this is morose. This is not advice. But if you're driving a distance to go somewhere, wouldn't you not deposit things all in one spot? Wouldn't you? You know what? I'll let your minds run with that. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further.
Fair. And it's kind of near the wooded line here. Okay. All right. So I'm not the best estimator, Judge. I would say 4 inches south of the barn, maybe 1 inch above the oil tank on Exhibit 57 is the area that the witness pointed.
That seems to be a fair description, yes.
Okay. I'm going to have you sit down just so we can hear you nice and loud on that microphone.
Okay.
So what do? You see his, oh, well, hold on 1 second. Do you remember what kind of vehicle he was driving that day?
It was like a little station wagon, like a hatchback.
Okay.
It might have been a Subaru, I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know, was the hatch open, closed, something else?
The back hatch, the back was open.
Okay. All right. So that's where you observed the car, the back hatch, or if you're not a car person like me, you say the trunk was open. What do?
Well, yeah, because we go and he's not in the pool and we see the car, and then I'm like, what the heck is going on? What is he doing? And I said, well, I'm going to go over, and Dulcie was like, we were like, what's he doing? You know, what is going on?
Sure.
So we drove over to see if he was in the back of the car. Was he sleeping? What was he doing? Was he smoking weed or something? We didn't know. So we drove over there and with the mower and approached, and I drove to the back of the car because the back end was backed towards me.
Okay, so the back end was facing closer to the barn or the oil drum?
Towards me. The front end was facing the shed.
Oh, towards you right now.
Yes, towards
Okay,
me
so
right
toward
now.
the woods, towards the wood
Yeah, so
line,
it's facing this way.
the trunk hatch
Was
is
up.
up.
So
Okay.
we drove in the mower and drove to the back of the car because I thought maybe he was in the back of the car
Sure.
taking a nap or I don't know. And we look in there and there wasn't anything in the car that we could see.
Okay. And at this point, you see the car, it's empty, or there's no Chandler in it. Do you see Chandler anywhere on your property?
No, because then we stopped and we're like, what the heck? We're looking around. What's he doing? Where is he? And Dulcie was kind of upset at that moment because she's thinking maybe he's doing drugs or something. She was really upset, thinking maybe he's doing drugs or something. What the
Okay.
hell's he doing? So I said, I don't know, but I'm done. I'm going to get in the pool. I just was hot and irritated and just didn't want to deal with it. And so I said, I'm going to the pool. So we left and drove and parked the mower by the pool.
Okay, so you took your mower
Drove back
over by the pool.
and parked and then proceeded and got in the pool.
Okay, so you're in the pool. When is the next time you see Chandler?
Do you want me to show you on that map?
Absolutely, I would love that.
Because then I got to get up again.
Why don't you do it and then I'll say it again so it's in the mic.
We were in the pool, and I would say it was right approximately in this area. He was walking this way towards us, coming towards us. I thought maybe he was going to the car, but then he passed the car and kept coming towards us.
Okay, so why don't you sit and I'll try to say it again in the mic. So you saw him, you kind of pointed, there's some white, I don't know what that is. It
I
might
don't
just
know.
be
Oh,
wood.
those are old beehives.
Oh, okay,
I got
so-
a bunch of beehives that I cleaning out my shed.
I love this person. She got wildflowers. She got flipping old beehives. I'm in. I want to live on that
And
land.
They were old and I just threw them out there.
Okay, Was he kind of coming from that area?
Yeah, he was walking like that direction, like towards that way, yeah, coming
All
that
right.
way.
And his car was here, but he walked past his car, you said,
Yes,
and then walked over by the pool?
right.
Okay. Do you remember what he was wearing?
Like baggy shorts. He had a shirt on, I thought, before, and when he came back, he didn't have a shirt.
So when he was approaching the pool, coming out of the wooded area, no shirt.
Right.
Okay. All right. So he's approaching the pool. Does he actually get up to the pool?
Yeah, he came up to the pool, and I said, "Hey, Chandler, I don't have a shirt on."
Sure.
Because I go shirtless in my pool. That's kind of why I was waiting for him to leave, because I wanted to have the privacy to get in my pool.
Sure. Okay.
Sure.
You tell him
Why
you don't have
not?
a shirt on.
Sure.
What happens next?
And he said, "Well, if it would be all right, I'd like to get in the pool. I'm kind of sticky and I'm hot." And I remember looking at Dulce because
Did
I
he
want
use
to be
the pool to
respectful.
wash off?
And I said, "Well, I don't have a problem with it, Dulce, if you don't." And she just kind of was shrugged, and I kind of could tell she didn't really like it, but she just kind of turned and was sort of like, whatever. And so I said, okay. And so then I kind of turned and he got in the pool, and
Ron,
he went to
where are you? I'm in a
east side
glass
the
case
pool,
of
and he kind of went to the
emotion.
west side of the pool.
Okay. And was he actively swimming or something
No,
else?
he just kind of dipped up and down and kind of was like washing, like himself off. He said it was kind of scratchy on his walk, and it was itchy and sticky. So he was just kind of like,
So you did a motion with your hands, and you
he
said the
kinda
word wash.
Yeah, like he'd dunk down, and then he'd kind of like, be doing like this and dunk down and kind of.
Okay. Kind of washing himself, rinsing himself off.
Yeah, and then it was odd because he just seemed really different when he got in the pool from when he was talking to us before.
Different how?
Well, he seemed more lucid, like he just seemed more present.
Did you say present or pleasant?
Present,
Thank you.
like focused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. What happened next?
Well, then Dulce was starting to ask him questions because I think she was concerned maybe he was doing some drugs, and I think she just wanted to sort of see if he was. So she started asking him questions and things like that to see how he would respond, because while he was gone and we were in the pool, that's what she spoke to me mostly about, is what's going on with him. I'm worried. I don't know why he's acting this way. What's he doing? And so
Just to clear this up, though, no paraphernalia or any evidence of drugs was ever found.
none, ever.
Okay.
And he admitted, that was one of the questions. She says, if you're doing drugs, Chandler, I'm telling you right now, that's a deal breaker. And if you ever come, and he said, I will never, ever bring drugs to the house, or I don't do drugs. He
Just body
I
parts.
just wanted to
No
clear that
drugs.
yeah, she
just the
confronted
body.
him about that.
Okay. What happens next?
Well, we just started talking, she was worried, where was he going to stay? Because he thought he lost his job. And she was offered to say he could stay maybe at her house in town for a while if he needed to.
Pardon me, I have to interrupt here. This is all hearsay.
Agreed. I'll go ahead and ask to rephrase the question, and those last responses
Sure.
fall in that category.
Outside of specifics of the conversation, how long was Chandler in the pool?
Oh, maybe 15 minutes-ish,
Okay.
roughly.
All right. And at some point, does he get out of the pool first, or do you?
He got out first. He said he was in a hurry. He had to go, that Catherine was getting dinner or something. And so he was like on a mission and had to like, let's go. And he got out and went to the car and drove off.
Okay. And his car that he went to was over there by the oil tank near the wood line?
Right.
All right. I just want to back up here a second. You said at first, when you first talked with him on the deck when you were working on a project with Dulce, he then left to supposedly go swimming, and then you didn't see him until he walked out of the wood line later. About what was the time gap between there? between the
Game
time
over,
he said,
man.
"I'm gonna
It's
go to
game
the pool,"
over.
and the time he actually went to the pool?
The first time or the second time? Or all together? Because there
All
was,
together. So the time you were on the deck working on your project.
and he showed up until
Right.
the time
and
he
then
left.
from the time he left you at the deck area until you saw him walk out of the wooded area,
Oh,
about what was the time frame in there?
I'm guesstimating, you know, maybe 45 minutes, an hour-ish, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a guesstimate.
Okay.
It was a while. To me, it seemed forever because I wanted to get in the pool.
Sure.
So it just seemed like a long time.
I like her. I like her so much.
And then after he got out of the pool, he got into his vehicle and drove away.
Yeah.
Now, later that day, did you find out that he actually had attempted to contact you prior to coming to your property?
Yeah, later, I remember seeing the message was blinking on my landline. And so I pressed it and then a name came up and I didn't know I didn't recognize the name. And then I heard Chandler's voice. So
Isn't that what
he
we
had
all
left
want?
me a message, but I didn't realize it until after he'd come and gone and I listened to it later.
No hey ho tomorrow night. We're trying to get back on schedule. It'll be next week.
So he left you a message or a voicemail?
Yeah, and saying he wanted to come and could he come and use the pool?
And did you turn that message?
Wait, did somebody answer me? Did they determine that he washed off whatever was on him in the pool after depositing parent and tools in the woods? Is that what happened? What he was going for? Like, is that why he was like, oh, well, I can't get in the pool because she's topless? It was, I have to be in the pool to wash. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Or voicemail over to the Dane County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, I did.
And did you turn over a true and accurate copy of that message?
Yes, it's still on there right now.
Okay. I would at this time move exhibit.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. No, 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 no. It's bacon!
It is received.
And
I hope
would
she's
ask
got a
to
hella good
publish
filter.
The message to the jury.
You may.
It's a white screen.
Is this supposed to be going
No,
on?
it's not.
The screen in front of you shows what the jury's seeing.
Okay.
No?
All right, thank you. That's right there.
Hi, Chris. This is Chandler. I just got back with some pretty terrible news from my doctor. So I was wondering if I could come by. Just, I don't know, take a couple laps to the pool or hang out. Something. I'm not having the most ideal day, I suppose. So call me back, 920-838-4549. Thank you. Bye.
Monday, 4:25 p.m.
And this was message 116.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. On July 7th, the next day, that Tuesday, do you receive any communication from Chandler?
Not directly from Chandler, no. But I'd heard otherwise that he was trying to come out and I was having trouble with my phone for some reason, wasn't working my landline, and I was kind of feeling stressed and didn't really want to deal with anybody at the farm that day.
All right. And so did Chandler end up
I
coming
hear
out
you.
on the 7th?
No.
And I feel like that needs to be celebrated.
Or I'm sorry, that's the 7th. Okay. Later in the course of this investigation, various items were found on your property that you were made aware of. Is that fair?
Yes.
Let me inquire, counsel. I think the jury entered at 8:45. We're a little over 90 minutes long. This might be a good moment to break,
Sure, that's
just
fine.
because we're moving into another subject
Sure.
area, and we still have cross-examination. I don't want to tax everybody further than about 90 minutes plus 10. So we'll take our morning break at this point, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll come back in 15 minutes.
All rise for the jury.
This judge is so cognizant of the jury. He pays attention. He can see it, and he makes decisions based off of that in order to have a good trial. This man is phenomenal. I mean, I love this guy.
Attorney Raymond.
Thank you. Cress, I'm going to approach you and show you a series of pictures of things found on your property and talk to you about those.
Oh boy.
First, I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibits 58 through 63. Do you just want to flip through those?
Can I pick
Yeah,
them?
you absolutely. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions here. And we're going to have testimony about this later, but exhibit 58 is a garbage can found in the woods. Did you keep a Rubbermaid or a black rubber garbage can in your woods?
No,
And exhibit 59, what is that a picture of?
that's an old, I don't know if it's fuel oil or gas. It's for scrap. I just haven't took it to the salvage yard yet.
Okay. Did you keep any tools in exhibit 59?
In there?
Yes.
No.
What is picture 60?
That's the entrance to my driveway, and
She might be one of my favorite
I
witnesses
recognize
ever.
the car. There's a bag, and that's where I keep my recycling and my trash.
And that bag appears to be a Target bag.
I think so. I'm not sure.
And 61 is a close up of the same.
Right.
62 and 63 are some items that were found in that Target bag. Did those items belong to your house?
No,
Did you throw those items away?
no,
And your father is 94, you said.
yes,
Only other person that lives there.
right. Well, my brother, but he was at assisted living at the time.
Okay. So your father, it would take great effort to go and throw anything away outside.
No, he couldn't.
State at this time would move exhibits 58 through 63 into evidence.
Any objection?
None.
They are received.
And I will ask you about these in a minute, but if you want to just look through those in the meantime, I'm going to publish 58 through 63 to the jury. And Ms. Lasai, the little screen in front of you will have what I'm showing you the jury. So what do I have to do? Thank you.
Will it though?
The clerk is working on that. That second group of photos that I showed you, how would you describe those as a group?
As a group, well, this is the tobacco shed that you called the barn. It's the shed. Looks better now, though.
Why does it look better now?
Well, yeah, because I cleaned it out. I got a big dumpster. Been meaning to do it for some years now. I didn't get through it because I got a
Sure.
little upset there for a
That's
second.
okay. But 66 through 70 are pictures of your barn before you cleaned it out.
That's correct.
And 71 through 74 are pictures of something that you later found in your barn during the cleanout.
That's right.
Okay. I would move to admit pictures 66 through 74.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
They are received.
Did we know about the shed? I didn't know about this shed. But I guess we're about to know.
While you have identified the exhibits and testified about them, the ability to publish them to the jury requires the state to go through them with you again, but with the jury able to see those photos at this time.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's never perfect because of the glare. But Cress, this is the garbage can picture, exhibit 58 that I showed you that was found in the woods, but it was not yours.
No.
And how would you describe exhibit 59?
It's an old fuel tank that's been sitting there for a while. We're going to take it to salvage and you have to cut a hole in there so that they know you don't fill it with concrete or something, so they want to look in there.
Okay. And again, you didn't keep anything such as tools inside of it.
No.
And exhibit 60. Is that a picture at the end of your driveway?
Right.
And is this where you keep the garbage cans?
Yeah, that's where I put the trash and the recycling.
Now, during the time of this, in the first week of July, did you have an experience of your garbage cans being moved?
No, not that I'm aware of. I don't recall. I don't even know if I took trash out that week.
Okay. So you do not recall a day when they may have been at the road and then somebody put them back?
No, I'm not aware of that.
That's okay.
But that could have happened, just meaning because Dulce sometimes, like if the trash is out and she goes out, sometimes she'll put it back and I don't know about it. That could have happened. I don't know.
Sure, fair enough. But there's a Target bag here. Do you normally keep your trash outside of your garbage cans?
No, I would have put it in the trash.
All right. That's exhibit 60. Exhibit 61. Just a close-up of exhibit 60.
Right.
All right, and then I showed you exhibit 62, stuff that was found inside of that Target bag. Some rags with the substance on them. Did you throw away those rags?
No.
And exhibit 63, just them separated out. Moving on, exhibit 66. How would you describe exhibit 66?
Well, that's the north side of my shed
There's the rotting lawnmower.
and my little lawnmower.
Okay. And exhibit 67?
Yeah, it's just showing you the entrance there on the north side.
It's a nice shed. Tobacco barn.
Exhibit 68.
Yep, that's the messy shed.
Exhibit 69, more the same?
Right.
It's really not that bad.
Exhibit 70, there's an item here along the back wall, kind of by some boards.
Yeah, there's a bird bath there.
Can you tell it all from this angle what was behind the bird bath?
Well, there's a rifle there.
And at
Whoa.
some point, you discover a rifle in your barn.
Yes.
Do you keep guns in your barn?
Not normally. My dad, sometimes he'd keep a pellet gun up there, but he hasn't been walking for a few years, so.
So what did you do well, first off, when did you first see this gun?
Well, I was organizing along the wall, like I say, I was cleaning out my shed and I wanted to go through these like garden tools because making sure I still use them, were they broken, when I was going to throw them away. So and then I was organizing, putting lumber where the lumber goes, the recycling where the recycling goes. And so I lifted up a board and I saw a barrel of a gun and I thought, right away I thought, what's my dad, what the heck has he got his pellet gun over here? So I picked it up by the barrel and looked at it and I right away recognized it wasn't a gun that I'd ever saw or seen ever before.
And just to be clear for the jury, this gun, before you lifted it up, was behind a board.
Yes, it was behind us. There was like maybe 4 or 5 different boards there.
So upon realizing you don't know where this gun came from, what do?
Well, the first thing is I just felt sort of this sick feeling, and I set it back down, and then I went to ask my father just to make sure that he didn't know about any gun in the shed. And I went and asked, and he said, well, what does it look like or whatever? And I said, well, Dad, I'm just going to call the police. And then I called Krista, the head of the investigation. She left me her number. And I called her and spoke with her and told her what I'd found. And she told me that she was going to send somebody out.
Okay, and do you remember roughly what month or?
Oh, it was in the middle of October-ish because I wanted to clean out the shed earlier, but the police were there for so long. My raspberries started, so it was after the raspberries were done, which was sometime in the end of October-ish.
I love this woman so much. I want to live on her
Yes.
farm. I do.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 71. Is that a picture of the gun that you found in your barn?
It's kind of a glare.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is.
Yeah. It looks to be.
Do you want to look at the actual photo?
Yeah, that would be
You can do that.
helpful. But it looks similar. Yes.
That's all right.
Show that to the jury as you walk back towards the Elmo.
Raspberry beret.
Bless you.
Oh, she's so sweet.
And Exhibit 72. Let's see if I can get that to be a little better. That's just the close-up of the same.
Yes.
It's a night court tradition.
So we'll publish 73 and 74.
You find something that works out, and I sing it, and everybody else sings it too.
So did the police then in October, after you found the gun, come and retrieve the gun?
Yes.
And in July, when Chandler was on your farm, did you have your barn or your shed locked at all?
No.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hi.
Picking up where you just left off, do you ever lock or close up that shed or barn?
I haven't for some years. When I used to go to Florida in the winter, I would close it and lock it, but I haven't been there for a while. So, no.
And is it fair to say that before you got the garbage bin and did the major cleaning of the shed, you didn't know exactly every item that was in there, right?
No, not every single item, no.
And you testified that there was a delay in getting the garbage
Straw
bin and cleaning
argument.
out that shed because
Straw.
the police were there for a while.
That's correct.
How long were they there in possession of your property or on your property?
Whew, seemed like forever. A couple of weeks at least, maybe longer.
And they had closed off that area to you?
Yes, they got kind of upset every time I come up with a lawnmower because I couldn't even mow my lawn, and it was frustrating. So, but they pretty much kept me by my house. They didn't really want me anywhere around.
And was it your understanding that they were searching that area at that time?
Yeah, they were searching my whole property. They served me with a warrant.
It was behind a bunch of boards, so
Now, moving back in time a little bit to 4th of July weekend.
no, you cannot
I think I heard
Tarantino
you
this,
testified that
ma'am.
Chandler Halderson was not acting like himself. Is that right?
That's correct.
And it was for that that observation that
Not
you
today, Satan.
and
Not today.
Dulce might have thought, oh, is he doing some drugs? Is that right?
Yeah, it was a question because we couldn't figure out why he seemed a little off.
And you had never seen him like that before, right?
No.
And normally he's sort of a quiet, nerdy kid, right?
Yeah, that's a good description.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
And there was much rejoicing.
Mrs. Excused at this time,
She's excused.
but not released?
Correct.
That means that you're still under the subpoena with which you've been served, so you can't discuss your testimony with anyone, but you're excused unless recalled by the state at any time. You can stay in touch with them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank
Have
you.
a good rest of your day.
The state calls Brent Baberstock to the stand.
Yep.
And able to safely and responsibly testify without a mask, please do so. Thank you. Attorney Brown.
Good afternoon. Please state and spell your name for the jury.
It's Brent Baverstock, BRENT BAVERSTOCK.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a detective with the Dane County Sheriff's Office.
In your role as a detective with the Dane County Sheriff's Office, were you asked to follow up in the investigation of two missing people, Bart Halderson and Christopher Halderson, in the early part of July of 2021?
Yes.
Initially, what was your role in the investigation?
I was not initially a part of the first response to it. However, maybe shortly before noon on July 8th, Detective Liz Allen came to my office. She said she had just had a phone
Yangled
call,
web
with the mother
indeed.
of Catherine Melander, who was the girlfriend of Chandler Halderson. And during that phone call, she intended to do initially just a phone interview, just kind of get some background.
For those of you who've
information,
seen
but
this, do they
some things on
put
that
on
phone
the
call alerted her to
stand
believe
his
that
ex
we needed to follow up with a in-person interview.
or his girlfriend?
So she came to my office and asked me to sit in on that interview because we try
Best
to
thing they do.
people, with at least two detectives there to support each
Well,
other.
don't apologize. I
And,
thought it was
that
cute.
with,
That's
Dulce?
why I said it.
That was with Dulce, correct?
And just
Oh,
briefly,
that'll
if you
be
could describe
fun.
Dulce's kind of a emotional state during some of that interview.
Well, we got to the location where we agreed to interview her, which is she was in the middle of some classes, trying to improve her education. And we sat in a side little conference room, and she was emotionally distraught. She kind of had this look of fear and panic in her eyes.
Okay. Now they've testified, so we're not going to talk much about that interview. But at some point, do you end up going to a farm that you thought might have been visited by Chandler Halderson over the 4th of July weekend and leading into the next week?
Yeah, based upon our interviews with them, we determined we needed to get out to that farm right away and search it.
Sure. I think it's been described as being near Cottage Grove, but kind of in a rural area of Dane County. That sound fair to you?
Yes.
The entire location of that farm, is that here in Dane County, Wisconsin?
Yes, it is.
And it fairly remote?
Yeah.
Had you ever been there before?
No.
If you could describe the farm just in general to us.
Sure. Well, it's probably 30 to 40 acres. A lot of it is wooded. The house sits in a wooded area. There's a paved driveway that goes up from the road that kind of turns off to where the house is. And then if you kept going straight on that, it would turn into a gravel, and then up into the grassy area would be where like the back shed was, in the pool and the raspberries.
Did you personally yourself walk out there with Cress or Dulce or anybody?
Yes, I did.
Who was with you?
Well, I had first gone there, responded out there pretty quickly. There were a lot of red flags that popped up during my interview with Crescent, and I called to the command post to Detective Sims, and I talked to her. And I'm like, I need some more people. We need to get out here. We need to search this place right away. But we were pretty stretched thin at that point. We had sent a team up to, a team was headed up to the cabin to do some more investigation up there. I'm like, we need some more people. We need to get out there and search it. So she was able to provide at least another detective, Detective Tim Blank, along with me and Detective Liz Allen. And then while I was on the way, I contacted Barry Ehrman from the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office and asked him to respond with his cadaver dog to help us do the
It's
search.
what I do.
I got there and nobody was there. I had expected Cress and Dulce to beat me there. I went to the house, knocked on the door, and nobody answered. And I got worried that they may went up and started searching on their own. So I went up there. I went up into the grassy area. Like you can see, you have a photo of the farm there. So I could see whether or not anybody was back by there. And, I noticed, during my contact with Cress, she did talk that she had recently seen vultures circling over the property.
Your Honor, I'm going to object as hearsay.
Sure.
Sustained.
Did you yourself at some point see some birds over the woods?
Yes.
And what were those birds?
Turkey vultures.
And did that raise red flags to you?
Oh yeah.
Why?
This
Most
This
birds
impacted
really
him
don't have
greatly.
a sense of
You
smell
can
except
tell.
for turkey vultures. Turkey
His
vultures.
pace
actually,
changed.
When the body,
His attitude
when
changed.
a body or an animal or creature dies, it starts going through some changes. The microorganisms on there start producing different gases, and it emanates an odor. Turkey vultures can smell that, and when they do, they'll start circling the area to locate where it's coming from.
And were those turkey vultures over the wooded area at the farm?
When I got there, yeah.
Did you find Cress and Dulce as you walked back there?
Eventually, I walked up there. I didn't see them, and then Dulce or Cress came out of the back sliding patio door and met me. And then I asked her if she could show me again where she had seen Chandler back by the woods. And we walked back up to the area of the shed, and she showed me.
When you say she showed you, did she point physically?
Yes, she did.
All right. And so what I'm going to have you do, and because she's already testified, you can't say what she said, but you saw her point at a location?
Yes.
Can you please stand up for 1 second and point on that map to the location that Cress pointed out to you as where she saw Chandler?
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, I asked her to tell me exactly where she had seen the vehicle parked. We walked up and came over this area. She said the vehicle was parked in this area. And then she said that when she first saw Chandler coming out of...
Your Honor, objection, hearsay again.
I'm sorry, I missed the part of the objection.
It was
Hearsay again about what someone told him.
Sustained.
And maybe I'll ask a better question. When she physically herself pointed at a location where she saw Chandler coming out of the woods, where was that location?
Well, we were standing right about here.
Okay.
She pointed back.
Okay, physically put her hand up and pointed? Okay, thank you. You can take a seat.
Do you want to describe that for the record, counsel?
I will. I would say that the witness just pointed to toward the wood line, approximately a foot below that barn, where the barn is. Counsel's nodding in agreement, so I think that's fair to say. At that point, what did you do?
Well, my partners hadn't arrived yet. So I asked for Cress to go back and wait in the house, and I told her that my partners would be here soon and we'd start doing our search. We returned back to the driveway, and Detective Blank and Detective Allen had arrived shortly thereafter. And then we went back up
Last
to the
name's
area.
Blank,
and we started looking around.
or he doesn't know the
I'm
name?
going to ask you what you saw first. When you got down to that area, all these, I'll pause for a second. I apologize for maybe being sporadic there. All of these vehicles in the photograph, those are related to law enforcement and the investigation, correct?
Correct.
There were not a bunch of vehicles parked out there when you were there?
No.
Were there any vehicles parked out there other than law enforcement vehicles?
There's one vehicle parked inside the shed, but not visible, I think, from that photograph.
Understood. As you got over toward, let's say, that junk pile before the grass gets longer there, did you see any signs that a car had been over there?
Yes.
What did you see?
Well, Detective Blank pointed it out first. He pointed over and he said, well, it looks like cars driven through the tall grass over here. I'm like, yeah, it does. So we went over there and we saw there were 2 tracks of the taller grass. The grass is probably about, waist high. You can see the 2 track marks that go back along the parallel with the wood line there.
Okay. And that point or shortly
As long as
thereafter,
you be
you and
prepared.
other detectives began maybe searching a little bit closer into where those tire tracks went.
Yeah, we began to follow them. They went back probably about to an area where there were some white wooden boxes that are old beehives. They're just kind of stored along the tree line.
And that's before you entered the woods, correct?
That's before we entered the woods.
Okay, so we're going to pause there, and I'm going to have you look at a couple of exhibits first, so we're all in this.
Then I think it's only right that we pause there too. Don't you think? I think so. Ooh, well, day 3 is going to continue on Monday. We're getting into the nitty gritty now. Oh, you all talking about vultures. The past, I'm gonna curse us now, but the first 2 years that we were in this home, the backyard has like, I don't know, 8 or 10 pine trees. It sucks, no joke. And up those pine trees were like the residence of vultures, and it had to be in the collective trees in the yards around us. There had to be 50 vultures, and I'm telling you guys, I did everything possible to get rid of them, because when vultures sit there, well, they got to poop somewhere, and the back corner of my yard was covered. And y'all, it's no joke. If shit goes in, shit's coming out. And it was so bad. So bad. And I didn't want the dogs to get into it, because of course it smells great to them. And they're hounds, so they like to roll. Fun. So I leave you with that great thought tonight. No, I don't leave you with that. I'm not going to leave you with that. I instead am going to leave you with this. Thank you so much for tuning in to Night Court. See what I did there? Thanks for tuning into the bonus. Thanks for being flexible. True Crime and Wine Time will not be next week, but it'll be the week following. And we're going to do celebrity crimes, as I mentioned. It's going to be really good. Check out Brew Crime. The episode that released, I think, yesterday, and then next week is on witches, which is really fun. And then, of course, Active Shooter is always going. So there's lots there. We were just featured in The Guardian in an article, which is a super awesome review in The Guardian. So really appreciated that a lot. And so check out Brew Crime, check out Active Shooter, True Crime and Wine Time, of course, if you tune into the lives. But you can always go back. You can always go back and check out the old episodes. Those are a lot of fun to go back to. So check those out too. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. So the next show is going to be Monday at 12 Central, and that's Midday Missing. And then it's going to be followed by Night Court. So y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of your friends, your family. Oh, see? Good timing. Sorry, everybody. If you yawned with me, you're an empath, and I appreciate you. Take care of yourself, your friends, your family, your community. Don't let anybody ever dull your sparkle. And you shine on. You shine on, you crazy diamonds. Court is adjourned. That was really dumb. Why did I do that? Bye.